Mr. Bernard, you ready? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get starting with our meeting. We're going to have our Commissioner Shaw Williams lead us in our pledge. If you can stand.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Fowler?
Present.
Commissioner Rice?
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo? Aye. Commissioner Shaw Williams?
Aye.
Chairman Springs?
Aye. Any communications from staff?
Good evening, Chairman, members of the commission. Just wanted to say that we've provided you all with some lovely pictures from our last month's meeting, and you all look good in your next level polos. That concludes staff's comments.
Thank you. Okay, public comments regarding non-agenda items. Person wishing to address the planning commission on any item on the agenda other than the public hearing may do so at this time. Seeing, hearing none, we're going to close that segment. And we're going to start off with our first, I'm sorry. I need, I don't have the agendas.
Yeah.
There is no agendas, okay.
No minutes. No minutes.
No minutes. Okay. Madam Secretary, our first agenda item, please.
Item 5A, a continued public hearing to consider an application by Chima Chubizi, representing the tribe, for a special use permit number 24-00027 to allow hookah within an existing nightclub on an approximately 34,600 square foot MU zoned property at 446 South Market Street.
Chairman, the file is present and notice was given in the form and manner as required by the IMC. Planner Angel Leon Martel is available to do a short staff presentation.
Good evening, Chairman Springs and members of the Commission. On March 12, 2019, the Planning Commission approved special use permit number SP-2019-001 to allow the nightclub and the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-site consumption at the subject site. On June 7, 2023, the Commission approved SUP 23-00012 and Resolution Number 1830 to make a public convenience or necessity finding for the previously approved special use permit from March 12, 2019. On February 5th, 2025, the planning staff asked the Commission to continue this hearing until the March 5th, 2025 meeting to work out final details related to business operations. The subject site for this SUP request has a downtown transit-oriented development land use designation with MU1 TOD mixed-use zoning. The subject site is located between South Market Street and East Spruce Avenue with frontage on Market Street. The surrounding north, south, and west properties are zoned MU-1 and are developed with commercial uses. Property to the east is zoned C2 with commercial uses. The applicant seeks approval to add a hookah use to the existing establishment, which will operate out of the approximately 4,700 square foot nightclub. The subject site is developed with 51 parking spaces. The floor plan is not changing. No additional floor area will be used for hookah. Thus, the ancillary hookah use does not require additional parking. The first floor contains booth seating where hookah service will be allowed. The location of the hookah service area is highlighted in blue. The remaining floor plan consists of a bar, dance floor, stage, DJ booth, restrooms, office, and food prep area. The hours of operation are restricted for the sale and use of hookah between 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. daily as conditioned. The nightclub operates between 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. daily. This project is conditioned so that the applicant obtains the proper permits from the state and the permits and licensing clearance if the SUP is approved tonight. The commission may want to weigh whether adding a condition for a one-year review is appropriate. The applicant proposes to add hookah as an ancillary use. The owner of the establishment will provide a selection of flavors from a menu. Electronic equipment will be used, similar to that of the picture seen above, and the proposed equipment is safer than the traditional equipment. It is also odorless, does not burn coals, and has a built-in timer to control the length of use. The proposed use will not alter the character of the area and will be compatible with surrounding uses. The applicant will maintain 30 security cameras that were installed throughout the building and will continue to have 2 security guards on site daily. The use is consistent with the downtown TOD land use designation. A notice of exemption has been filed and the project is exempt from further environmental review. No public comments have been received for or against this request. This concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions the commission may have, and the applicant is also present tonight to answer your questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to open up questions for you, Angel, before you leave. We're going to start off with Commissioner Fowler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple, I think I heard you say there was no, or I think I read it, there was no public comment either way. Is that correct?
Yes, no emails or phone calls were received for or against.
You implied no impact on the environment. Implied that. Is that true?
Yes, that's correct. With the categorical exemption, the use was qualified as exempt.
And this, I saw this to state license. Is that normal? That you would have to get a state license for this?
Yes, generally for all tobacco uses,
Okay.
proprietors or owners are required to obtain such license.
All right, thank you. Rest are for the applicant. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Rice.
The restaurant entire project is 4,000 square feet?
That is the existing total floor plan area, correct?
And according to the hookah approval laws, I think it's like 30% of it has to be for hookah if you're going to be approved for hookah from the state. Do you know for sure?
I'm not certain on their regulations, but the applicant will, seek all clearances and be approved accordingly.
Okay. And would that one of those clearances be with ABC? Do they regulate this
I believe they issue the license, actually, yes,
for alcohol and for
and
hookah?
tobacco.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Trejo.
So what, let's see, how do I word this? Is this considered tobacco use?
Yes, the hookah is basically, uses a product that has nicotine and is based on tobacco base, essentially.
Is there smoke involved?
It's vapor because of the equipment that the applicant has proposed to use, like water.
So it could be considered smoke.
Yes, I would say so.
Is there not a ban for indoor smoking?
There are exemptions, I believe, with the state, so the applicant would have to, figure that out and obtain their license. If they can get cleared, then we would allow them to continue and obtain a business license.
Uh-huh. Um, Well, it seems that we, as an approval body, should be able to indicate or make some comment on the indoor smoke, because I know that, for years, it's like banning smoke indoors, and if you want to smoke, you have to go outside, so that's why I was asking. How safe are these?
If I can answer your question, Commissioner, there is California Labor Code Section 6404.5, which regulates smoking of tobacco products in places of employment. It would be up to the applicant to make sure that their operations comply with the state law, and then up to the Department of Public Health to enforce that area of law.
Okay, so we don't, in essence, have a say in it, it's a state?
The
It's a
state
state-
preempts the field as to smoke-free workplaces and then how you can operate in order to comply with state law.
Okay. My next question is, I'm not sure if you can answer, or perhaps the applicant, how safe are these products, these e-liquids? What is an e-liquid? Electronic liquid, or?
Yeah, I'll try to answer that, but maybe the applicant can elaborate later. It's basically kind of like the oils that are used to burn, and essentially with the water vaporizes and changes into smoke, and then it goes through the hose, and people inhale it. I guess similar to tobacco use. I can't really say that it's safer or not. From what I've read from
Because
health publications.
since this is, according to the report, this is the first legal hookah lounge. I don't know whether there are any illegal hookah lounges operating, but since this is the first legal hookah lounge, I want to make sure that we cover everything, because we'll be setting a precedent on this. And one other thing, one of the proposed conditions is that there be no marijuana. Now, is there other types of drugs that can be used in hookah?
Besides that one, I've not read of any, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Because I read somewhere that you can smoke opium with it also. And the reason I'm asking is, you're only mentioning marijuana in the proposed conditions, so I think there should be additional wording. No marijuana should be used, nor any other drug, is that what I want to call it, or any other drug that could potentially be used in hookah.
Let me make a comment on that, Commissioner Trejos. In the event that we want to make a motion on that, then at that particular time, we can bring in what you just indicated if we want to make a condition for that.
Correct. I just wanted to make sure everybody heard what I was saying, so, thank you. But I do know the condition.
Excuse me, Chair, if I
Yes.
may. Just want to, for the purposes of clarifying the process. So the SUP would essentially pave the way for the applicant to go and apply for a license with the state. As Mr. Pan mentioned, he would have to comply with state regulations and mandates as it relates to creating a safe work environment. But then once he gets that approval, he would then come back to the city for his final layer of approval, which would be through P&L. So that way we would then be able to confirm that he has the state licensed required, as well as also ensuring that any other conditions from any other city department would be levied on this particular use. And we can kind of cover all of our bases. So there is an additional layer of review that would come through PD, Public Works, Code Enforcement, of course, planning, so on and so forth, that are also involved in the approval of this process, of this use.
Okay, but at this point, we can still expand on any conditions or add any
Absolutely.
conditions, right?
Absolutely.
That's correct, but just to be clear, this is only for hookah as traditionally defined to include tobacco products only, nothing else but tobacco products that are authorized by state law. And it would also be subject to getting the state permit for tobacco products only. No cannabis, nothing illegal would be part of it.
So do we, maybe I confused myself here.
Ha-
You don't have to.
You don't have to say it,
You-
it's only tobacco products. Anything else is not
Correct.
included in what you're
Okay.
asking for.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
I just have one question. There's no other hookah lounges in Inglewood? This would,
No, not at this time.
okay. No further questions.
One more thing. So just to provide further context, we brought before you this ordinance to regulate hookah a few years back. And so, we had found that they were able to operate as bars with very little regulation. And so what we did was, in creating this ordinance, wanted to bring them before this body, right, to be able to ensure that we're applying conditions that would help improve the safety of these particular uses, as well as create an avenue for revocation if, in fact, they weren't acting as good neighbors here in the city or and business owners. And so that's kind of how we got here. You're right. The action tonight will set a precedence, and there may be one or two others, but there is a distance requirement. We have a radius that would kind of limit the number of these particular uses within any district in the city and citywide. So.
Good reminder, thank you.
Okay, Angel, very good report. I have no questions. If the applicant is here, please come, take the mic in the back, give us your name, and tell us about this particular product that you're trying to sell us.
I own the tribe.
Need the mic.
Can you pick up
On
the
Market
mic,
Street.
please?
Yeah, Chima. So the product is an electronic hookah. So it's not like a traditional hookah. So there's no charcoal.
Okay, before you get started, can somebody show him just to put the mic up so we can all hear you?
Here, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right. So the hookah is not the traditional type of hookah which is being used in various places of business. This is electronic. So the electronic hookah does not have charcoal. So when it comes to the fire and all that hazard, it does not have that. And also the electronic hookah does not also. The one I'm trying to get is a little bit expensive. So there's no tobacco. So it's just vaping. So when it comes to tobacco and those things, that does not apply because my venue is a non-smoking venue, and I want to keep it that way. So no tobacco, no charcoal, it's just straight vaping.
Okay, we have questions for you, sir. So we're going to start off our questions for you. We're going to start off with Commissioner Fowler. You have questions for him?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, sir, thank you for appearing. I appreciate you starting to tell us about it. I don't smoke, so I'm trying to understand how this works. But I was appreciative of it being electronic, because I think I've seen some of the other hookahs, but I think it was not that way. So I'm looking at this, it's electronic, but what are you using? Because you said flavors and so forth, so.
Yeah.
Is it like a liquid?
Yeah, it's like a liquid too, but different kind of flavors, yes.
And so what happens? Is this the whole entire thing?
Yes, that's
Right.
the whole entirety. Yes, that's how it's made here.
So how is it used?
It's electronic, so you charge it. So after charge, it has the whole, pole, tube, or whatever, what it's called. So you vape too, but you charge it. You can set it for how long you want to set it. If it's an hour, 2 hours, depending on the buyer. That's how it works. It's very, very easy to use.
Okay, do people pick it up?
No, I mean, it has you can vape. It has like a tube that you can
Oh,
vape it
two.
with, yeah.
Okay, that's attached to that. So how many of these, I saw the floor plan, how many of these are you planning to install?
Maybe about 4.
Oh,
at the
only
most,
4?
yeah.
Okay. And I noticed you've been in business for a while at this same location, so appreciate that. And you talked about security guards. Are both security guards, you have two for each shift or just one per shift?
Two at the
For each
most, yes.
shift. And I see you've only had maybe 3 incidents in 6 years, so that's a good thing. I do want to make sure that you had an opportunity to review these operating conditions. Did you have a chance to look at the conditions that they're placing
Yes.
in terms? Okay. All right, I have no further questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Rice?
Okay, so this is an electronic device, and there's a hose that you would bring up, and you would punch in your flavor, and you would inhale it like you would have.
So it has so that's just the equipment, but they have flavors, like
Okay.
strawberry, vanilla, whatever you want, right? So it's on top of it. You put it on top of it, and and you vape. So you buy the flavors separately from the equipment.
I've seen people walk up and down the street, and they're doing what think is vape, and they extract this device they hold and inhale it,
Yeah.
and then they blow out a ton of smoke or vapor.
Yeah.
Is that similar to what's happening here?
It's kind of similar, yes. But some of those vapes contain tobacco products, but this one does not contain tobacco products. So that's the
No.
difference.
There's no tobacco product.
No.
Okay. But
So
the old,
it's like you're vaping air. It's clean.
but-
I decided to go for this specifically
Okay.
because me, I don't smoke. So I just want to keep it clean.
okay, they're vaping clean strawberry, clean grape, clean vanilla.
Yes.
When they exhale, what happens?
Just exhale. Just
But no flavors come out, no smell, or when they
no
exhale.
smell. No, it's odorless.
So your body just,
Yeah.
so your body cleans it.
It's odorless. It does not have no dangerous materials to
I
it.
taste it, but I can't smell it.
You can taste. You could smell it.
Help me. On the exhale, you can smell it.
Yeah, you could smell it. Yeah.
So
You
it's
could
not
smell,
od-
yeah, you could smell the flavor. Yes.
So it's
You
not
can-
odor,
you could, yeah, you
odorless.
could test it. Yeah, you could test it. You could smell it. Yes.
It's not odorless.
I mean, it's odorless. I don't smoke, but it's what I read. I mean, it's odorless from
Okay, I'm gonna
From-
let someone else pick this up, but I'm going to a question for staff. The radius for this type of business,
It's 1 mile.
1 mile radius.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman,
Yes.
I'm sorry. The hookah is like a community vape, right? So there are hoses that are extend outside of the equipment where multiple people can use the apparatus in a communal environment, and that's the draw. It's like a group of friends are sitting at a table or a booth, and there are 6 hoses on the apparatus, and they're sharing the hookah and they're vaping. Now, it could be odorless, it could be with tobacco products, it could be without. There are different forms of the liquid material that's used within the products. That's up for the business owner to decide what products he want to use and how he would be able to get the approvals through the state, right? But there is some flexibility in the type of liquids that are used within this apparatus, whereas a traditional hookah would have a coal that would burn, and you would smoke it and you would smoke it as if you were smoking a cigar or a cigarette or a pipe. And so that's a traditional hookah that would produce smoke and fumes and odor in the air and avail the other people within the vicinity to secondhand smoke. That's not necessarily the case here. So that's I just wanted to clarify that or I hope that I was able to.
Can we go back to the room that this hookah is consumed in? What's the construction of this space to stop that hookah from coming out on the first floor and going into the general area on the first floor or the second floor, if it happens to be a hookah that has an odor or tobacco? No, I said if. He's going to be able to, potentially, if he passes state law. He could if he wants to, because you said he had all these choices that he could use if he wanted to.
Well, and you're at every liberty as a commission to condition the type that he uses if you deem fit. And then if he decides within his business model that doesn't work, he has to come back to this body to explain why. But this is precisely the reason why we created the ordinance for the hookah to come to the
Okay.
planning commission so that we could vet and regulate and ensure that it was to the best needs of the city, met the needs of the city.
So, Mr. Jambuzi, you're proposing that you're going to use a product that does not have any tobacco?
Yes.
And it has no odor, correct? Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Trejo?
I noticed that you're providing this amenity only on the ground level and not the VIP level on the mezzanine. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And why is that?
I just felt that's a better place to put it. Nothing really.
I'm sorry, say that
I
again.
just felt it was a much better place to use the hookah.
But if the VIPs on the mezzanine ask for it, which I would think they would, what are you going to do?
And the area that the hookahs are on, right, that I'll be using the hookah, those are VIP areas too. Those are more premium areas than the upstairs. Because with that area, you can be able to see what's happening on the stage and you can see what's happening on the floor. So that's a more luxurious area, if you like, than upstairs, whereby you can see what's really happening downstairs. So that's why I choose to put it there than upstairs.
Did I hear you say that you're choosing to put it there because it's a more open area, people can see what's going on there?
Yes, people prefer, from my study, people prefer to be there than upstairs.
I'm asking because what if the VIPs want to use it upstairs and maybe use a product that you as an owner can't regulate or can't enforce?
Every product that is going to be there, I'm the one who's going to bring it there. So it's going to be what the city and the state approved. Nothing that is going to be there will be something that is not approved by the city and the state. So they won't be able to have access to that because they won't be bringing it from outside because I have security to make sure that nobody comes in with something which is not legal.
Okay, I can't quite wrap my head around. I understand it's a community event, or I guess a community within the tribe event. But it's sort of like sitting around smoking cigars, which is sort of a community type event. Okay, so that's the pleasure is, okay, let's go hookah smoking.
Yeah.
Type of thing, okay. Okay.
Social,
It's a social event.
educational function.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
More of a question. Will having a hookah increase the number of guests that attend the tribe now? Why would you want to have a hookah lounge? Explain that.
So the thing about the hookah lounge, the reason why I'm considering it is because so when people come there, they want to smoke inside the building. So when I say, hey, you can't smoke, they don't come back. Those that are there, they'll say, okay, I want to go outside and smoke. When they go outside, they drink outside. And when they come back, they don't patronize the business. So revenue is going down. So that's the reason why I came up with this idea. Because the smoking thing, people love to smoke. So when you stop people from smoking or them going outside to smoke, it affects the business negatively. So that's why I decided to come up with this.
Yeah, that's understandable. You don't want people outside smoking and gathering. Yes, okay. I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple of questions, sir. I'm not familiar with the hookah products or any of that. I did see, I did go online to look it up to find out what it was all about. But I want to know what kind of advantage will the city benefit from you having a hookah lounge or hookah? And how is it benefiting the community for that to happen? Who's going to provide the products for that hookah? Like you said, strawberry and all the different flavors. Who provides that? And what is it? How can you prevent anybody from bringing in something that's not legal? Are you going to be standing around? Is there going to be security making sure that that doesn't happen? So I need to know, why is this so important? Will your lounge still function without this particular hookah? Because you are selling alcohol, you do have a liquor license there. I did hear you indicate that people, when they're drinking, they want to smoke. So in my mind, when I was drinking, we were smoking. It was with tobacco, which had nicotine, and that was something that you got your body filled with. So, what is it that this hookah is doing to an individual? Commissioner Rice indicated that he saw individuals going down the street with this vapor. So, is that some kind of charge that an individual is receiving from this particular hookah? So you need to tell us about this particular product and why is it so important for you to have it?
Yeah, for when it comes to security measures, definitely, I have security on standby, so to make sure that nobody comes in with any illegal products. I've been doing that. I've been stopping people from coming there with weed or stuff like that. So I've been doing that, and my security, they are trained and they are very good at it. The thing about hookah is that it's, as Bernard said, it's a community thing. It brings people together. Some people just want to come there and vape and discuss about business or just to hang out. So it's more of a community kind of thing. A lot of people like it to vape. So and in terms of like you pay tax for it, so it's a taxable item. So I pay for tax when it comes to hookah, with tobacco. So those are some of the things that I've found out. It brings people together. So that is one thing I found out when doing my survey.
I'm not understanding, sir. I don't see the importance of it. You
It's
still
just, it's
haven't.
just,
Wait
it's
a minute,
just
hold on. Let me finish, please. You haven't said what benefit that this hookah would prevent for your particular club. How it would be something that your club would thrive on. Could your particular club thrive without it? Would it tear down your business if you didn't have it? Would you still be able to function?
so just like what I explained to the
That's a question like, yes, I can, no, I can't.
it's going to affect. It's affecting revenue. Yes, it's affecting revenue. Yes, without the hookah, it's affecting revenue. Yes.
I have no further questions then. Okay, is there any other questions that the commissioners have on this? I need what your feelings are, what your thoughts are on this, and then I need a motion, please.
Question, Chair.
Yes.
How much are you planning to charge for the use of the hookahs?
$30, $40,
I'm sorry.
between $30 and $40,
You said $20 and $30?
between $20 to $40, 20 to 40.
$20 to $40.
Yeah, depending. Yes.
You had a question, Mr. McCumbo?
Just wanted to remind you not to forget about public comment.
Yeah, I won't. I got you. What's it going to forget? Thank you. Okay, very good. Commissioner
Yeah.
Fowler, yes.
I did have an opportunity to do a little further looking up. I guess it's pretty popular in a lot of places. It seems like it is, as you said, looks like it's a social thing. I guess he sees it, correct me if I'm wrong, as just an additional thing to attract people, especially if you're the first one in the community to have it. I do appreciate no tobacco, however. And so it's just like an extra thing to try to attract people. People apparently do it all around the world as I've looked now. And some people, it's a regular, kind of like a happy hour thing that they go to as a group. Sometimes it's relatives, and apparently sometimes it's business, like a happy hour after business. People go and eat and drink and hookah, the hookah life, as he said, I guess. I'm just not familiar with it, but I guess anything new in the city that's not harmful to the city, I think we probably should consider. That's just my comment, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Rice.
I'm just puzzled with the draw on it. I'm just trying to figure this out. I mean, we go and gather and we have a drink. Okay, we're gonna get a buzz. We eat some food. We get the nourishment. What's the difference between this hookah club and a policy club or a book, going to the library and reading together? What draws people to want to do hookah?
People just,
One question before I go there. Does it have any nicotine?
the one I'm getting doesn't have nicotine, no.
So what's the crave? What's the drive that makes them
People
want to
just-
come do this?
People just like to vape. A lot of young people, they love to vape. That's just it.
Is it just the motion of vaping
It's just the feeling.
and blowing it in the air? And
That's just it, yeah. They like it. It brings, they like it.
do I like it on the inhale, the exhale? What's the?
That-
I mean,
it's just a thing.
People do it. It's
so I'm just. What part of that?
I mean, that's what it is.
Why you do it? Why get together in a group of people? We're gonna have 50 of us come in and suck in air and blow out air.
Flavored, it's flavored.
It's
flavor.
just, what a lot of young people do it. They love to do it. Makes them happy. It brings them together, maybe to hang out. Some people don't like to drink, so they like to do hookah. So
Okay,
I guess my parents couldn't make a lot of sense out of what we did either.
I guess.
Well, I guess, Commissioner Rice, you have to try it. You have
I'll
to,
go with you.
hey,
I don't know if you want to go in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please. Okay, Commissioner Trejos.
Yeah, a couple of questions. $20 to $40, how long does that last? How many puffs, inhale, exhales, does that get you?
So with the hookah I'm getting, it can be set. I don't have really, I have to figure out that, the logistic, but I can set it maybe for 30 minutes, for $20, for 40 minutes, for $30. I have to set it. That's how I'm going to go about that. But I'm not, I'm not there yet.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. How much, my question is, what does $20 get you? What does $30 get you? What does $40 get you?
So $20 can get you maybe 30 minutes. $40 can maybe get you an hour, something like that.
Okay, so it's a time limit.
The time limit, yes.
Okay, so I like the strawberry flavored e-liquid. So I pay you $20 for that, so that's like 30 minutes. And I like it so much that I can pay another 20 and another 20. It's a little bit more expensive than alcohol, right? I don't know what alcohol runs nowadays, but it sounds like it's a little bit more expensive than alcohol, right?
Almost the same. Yeah, almost the same.
Okay. And I'm sort of piggybacking on what Commissioner Rice is saying. What makes it, does it make you feel euphoric? Like,
No, there's no such feelings. No, doesn't make you high. Doesn't make you feel any type of way. It's just, I guess people just like it. It's just a thing. People just love to vape. It makes them happy. I guess.
okay. Well, I know I know hookah has been around for umpteen years in the Middle East and India and all of that, and came over here. I don't understand it, but thank you for enlightening us.
Okay, Commissioner Shaw Williams. Any
I
final-
have no further comments or questions.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. At this particular time, we'd like to open it up for the general public to either for or against this particular project. If you can give us your reasoning, go to the mic, give us your name. Seeing, hearing none, we're going to close this segment. And at this particular time, I've heard all the comments in regards to this particular hookah. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know how a particular club can go into business and then say that we need this to survive. I understand that when you open up a club, you have a alcohol license, and that alcohol license would actually get you more clients to come in. You're serving food and alcohol, and your club is thriving. But then all of a sudden you tell us, or you tell me, or you tell the commissioners that you can't survive without it. So I'm kind of puzzled behind that. But at this particular point, my recommendations is declining it. That's my recommendations. But I need to have a motion on the floor.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair. I move to affirm the categorical exemption EACE 2025001 and adopt the resolution approving SUP 24-00027 with the conditions that are outlined and a one-year review as indicated.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. We call for any questions? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Fowler,
Aye.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
I'm not convinced that it's safe, so I'm going to vote no.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
No. Mr. McCumbo?
Chairman, anyone may appeal this matter in accordance with the IMC. Anyone may appeal this matter within 20 days of the notice of decision by way of a written appeal and an appeal fee of $571.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Secretary, please.
Item 6A, a non-public hearing to consider an application by Real Estate Development Services Group for final tract map number 84423 to allow the subdivision of air rights for the development of 5 units, 2 1/2 story townhome-style condominiums on an approximately 8,006 square foot R3 zone property at 419 South Eucalyptus Avenue.
Chairman, the file is present, and there is no requirement for notice. However, I just would like to make a quick note prior to, and Christine is available for questions and a short presentation. But in lieu of that, this item came before this body and was recommended to the City Council for approval of the vesting tentative map. And so the process of the final map and your recommendation is primarily a formality. The structure is built, it's finalized, the C of O has been issued. And so I know we continued this item last time because the applicant wasn't here, but quite frankly, I don't know, other than maybe any additional questions that you may have for the applicant, it's not necessary for them to be here if there aren't any substantive questions that you may have for them. Christine's available to do a presentation if you would like, but she's also available to maybe answer some questions that you may have.
Okay, Mr. McCumbo, I'd like to find out from my commissioners, are they familiar with this particular? And do you have any questions? If not,
I don't have any.
No questions for the applicant.
no questions for the applicant?
No questions?
No questions.
Okay, we have no questions. Very good.
Salute.
So we'll just go ahead and we'll go through the voting process now. So is there a motion on the floor?
Motion, I recommend that the Planning Commission adopt the resolution recommending approval of FTM 84423 by the mayor and the city council.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. We'll call for any questions. Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Fowler,
Aye.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams,
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
Aye.
Chairman, your recommendation will be forwarded to the city council for their approval of this final track map.
In item 6B, a non-public hearing to consider an application by Vlad Arutanyan to allow the construction of a new approximately 28,760 square foot, four-story medical office building on an approximately 21,900 square foot C2 Art Deco zone at 3200-3216 West Manchester Boulevard.
Chairman, the file is present and notice is not required for design review. Assistant Planner Sean May is available to do a short staff presentation.
Good evening, Chairman Springs and members of the Commission. The subject site for the design review is located at 3200 West Manchester Boulevard and has a commercial general plan designation. The subject site is located on the south side of Manchester Boulevard between 10th and 11th Avenue, with an alley just south of the subject site. The properties to the north, west, and east are commercial, and the property to the south, across the alley, is residential. The existing site contains a vacant, dilapidated commercial building, and the parking lot is located on the east side of this building, as shown behind me. The applicant proposes to remove the existing vacant building and construct a new four-story medical office building with a basketball court and play area. The applicant proposes uses within the building that include childcare, medical offices, retail, co-working areas, and a rooftop deck area. The proposed design contains 23 on-site parking stalls in the lot abutting Manchester Boulevard and 15 off-site spaces located across the alley. There is vehicular access through a double driveway along Manchester Boulevard and the alley to the south, with building access from Manchester and from the parking lots. The applicant is utilizing Assembly Bill 2097, which prohibits the city from enforcing minimum parking requirements. However, they are providing a total of 38 spaces. The applicant is proposing a landscape buffer adjacent to Manchester composed of trees including western redbud and the fruitless olive, and shrubs including Thumbelina lay, gray satellina, dwarf coast rosemary, Santa Barbara sage, and cat's claw. The parking lot edges are proposed to be landscaped with a blended mix of cat's claw, Santa Barbara sage, and pink gaura. The proposed design complies with the Art Deco overlay by including a flat parapet roofline that is rounded at the corner of Manchester and 10th Avenue. A white plaster finish with gray accents and wood siding provides contrasting colors and material finishes. A tower element is integrated into the building over the main entrance, and landscaping planters provide an aesthetic buffer for the on-site parking. The east facade maintains the same contrasting material and motifs and emphasize the rounded corner element, which are seen at the right of this picture. The west facade maintains the same architectural treatments and further utilizes a tower element, highlighting the interior staircase as shown in the middle. Findings have been made that the project is in accordance with the design review standards, and as conditioned, the proposed project will serve as an enhancement to its neighborhood setting and will be compatible with the surrounding area uses. The proposed project is consistent with the land use element and the Energy and Climate Action Plan. The project is exempt from further environmental review. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available to answer any questions the commission might have. The applicant is also here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. We're going to open up for questions for you. We'll start with Commissioner Fowler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My first question has to do with, I didn't hear you mention the rooftop deck area, which they say they have a bar.
There's a bar area there. That's what's listed on the plans. The main idea behind a space like that is there's many nonprofits within the building. If they have some sort of fundraiser or some sort of event where people would come, that's the area that people would have it. It would be for people within the building to utilize.
Yeah, I'm just struggling with medical and a bar. And then I'll talk to the applicant, because you're saying a child care facility too, so I'm like, okay, this ought to be an interesting story. That's all I have for you, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner Rice.
I'm not going to mess with perfection. You did an excellent job here. Thank you.
Commissioner Trejo.
I do like the Art Deco design. Very nice. And certainly a lot better than what is there now. So as far as the design review, I do like it. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
I'll reserve my questions for the applicant.
Okay, the only question that I have is the building being 4 stories. That's one of my concerns, and I'll talk to the applicant about that. But I want to make sure that when you have a building that tall, do you take away from the actual residential area? I do know on the north side of Manchester, there's a 3-story building, and that's strictly a commercial area. But if you go on the south side of Manchester, on Manchester, that alley coming north is commercial, going south is residential. So when you put a building up, and you put a building up that big, the residents they come out of their house or they come out of their driveway and they see this monstrosity of a building. So I have questions about that. Will it be, I'm sure I'll ask the applicant, is there any way that we can tone it down? I don't know. This is the first district. In the first district, it's primarily made of residents, R1s. And Manchester is actually a commercial zoning, but you have that alley there. I did look at it, and it did say something about a basketball court. Who's the basketball court for? Not for the residents, is it? Or is it for the doctors who are, I'm not understanding. I think that's something to throw us off, but I'll hear from the applicant on that.
Really quickly, if I may, just to respond to a couple things. The first thing, Commissioner Fowler, just as a point of note, this is not a use permit application. I know you were concerned about kind of the possibility of the use on the rooftop and things of that nature. We do discuss business operations as a part, as more of an informational note, but the item up for vote tonight is more related to the architectural design. I know you're aware of that, but I just wanted to make that note. I know sometimes we conflate the operation and the what we're here for. And also, Chairman, the building is within the required and allowed height limits from the C2 zone. And the building orientation provides additional setback where the playground area is and the basketball court, which along with the alley and the parking lot directly behind it, provide a pretty substantial setback of the 4-story structure as it relates to the residential to the south of the building. So just to keep that in mind as you're looking, I know that I know that you drove the area, but it's a commercial corridor, and that area is going to change. The buildings are going to start to go up, and they're going to be taller. We're in the process of getting ready to start our general plan update, and so we're going to be looking at these corridors and evaluating them. And so that's something that the residents in that community probably may not have thought about when they purchased the property, but they're so close to a major corridor that the zoning allows for that height, and so I think it was designed responsibly to try to limit the impact of the residential community directly behind it. So I just wanted to make that point.
Okay, I'm gonna elaborate, I'm gonna comment on that statement you just made about when they purchased those properties, a lot of those residents purchased those properties over 20, 30 years ago. So at that particular point, at that time, it was completely different than it is today. I understand about the Manchester being a commercial corridor. I do understand that. That's not my point. My point is it being such a large building. There aren't any large buildings in that particular area. The building that's the largest is across the street. That's 3 stories. I drove the area, sir, and there is an alley there. So, and there is a couple of apartment buildings, a triplex, a fourplex, but it's only 2 stories. And then if you go south of that, they're all single families. So I'm not, I'm just concerned about the residents in the area and what their concerns are when they come out of their driveway and see this building. That's my concern, sir.
Understood.
Okay, if the applicant is here, I'd like to hear from the applicant and why you want to put this building here. Give us your name and tell us about your project.
Hi, Commission. My name is Vlad. Our firm is actually working on the design and.
Please talk into the mic.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vlad. Our firm is the one that's working on the design. And here with us, we also have some representatives from the nonprofit that's going to be occupying the building. Just a couple of clarification items I want to make. It is not necessarily a 4-story building. It's 3.5. The rooftop of the 3rd floor only has conference rooms and the rooftop deck. So it's a little bit ambiguous whether or not this would be on the top of the 4th floor. It's not. The rooftop deck will be on the top of the 3rd floor. So that's just a point I would like to make. And I just wanted to emphasize one item that was also raised is from the setback of the building, we have that basketball landscaped area. Then we have an alley. And then behind the alley, we also have a parking area. So from where the residential portion meets our building, we have approximately about 70, 75 feet of separation. And the rooftop portion of our building is only going to be about 40 feet high. So proportionally speaking, we took that into account when we were designing this, and we are conscientious of the neighborhood. We don't want to come in and impose ourselves. We have reached out to several of the neighbors. They do love the project. They do welcome it. I mean, considering what's there now, what we're bringing in, it's going to add a lot of value to the community. And one last point I want to make is the rooftop portion of this building is conference room and deck. It's not going to be occupied a good portion of the time. It's going to serve as a conference area if there's any potential people wanting to come and invest into the nonprofits. We would have sort of meetings on the rooftop deck, and any of the staff of the building, if they want to take a break, lunch break, they're going to go on their rooftop for a lunch break. It's not something that's going to be occupied throughout the day, very minimally invasive, and taken into account when we're designing this.
Before we get started, you just indicated that you spoke to the community, you spoke to the residents in that district in regards to your project? Is that what you're telling me?
Correct, correct. The CEO has made efforts to reach out to the neighbors abutting. There's a meat market next door. We gotta kind of collaborate with our neighbors. It's going to be an ongoing process with the design. Hopefully, once we get into construction, we want to make sure they know who we are, what we are proposing. And so far, we've gotten nothing but excitement from the neighbors directly joining us and across the alley.
Okay, you said you spoke to the meat market.
Correct.
I spoke with the owner of the meat market. Oh, I'm Talitha. So I'm Talitha Phillips. I'm the CEO of Claris Health, which is the main nonprofit that is behind this.
So that's a commercial building, that meat market.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not, does he live there? I'm kind of confused.
Sorry,
You
no,
said
I
so-
went in. So right now, I went and spoke with the meat market because they have several sheds that are up along the side of our building. And so I went in there to introduce myself and talk to them and tell them what we were proposing. And everyone buying meat in the market. So I met several of the neighbors. And then there is a house that is directly behind the alley. We've met with the owner of that house to talk to him. And he said he's been spreading word in the neighborhood. So, yes.
But nothing like a town hall meeting where you talk to the residents in that particular.
Not yet. No, we haven't done that yet. No.
Very good. Okay, all right, anyone else?
Hello, my name is Kevin Dretzka. I'm a volunteer and the project manager. Hey, Sean, could you put that northern facade up from Manchester and take a look at this 3-story? So, as you can see from that facade, this is about the angle that you would see from across the street in Manchester. And it's clear that this is really a 3-story scale, or what Vlad said, a 3.5. So the massing of this building, along with the setbacks in the back that Sean and Vlad explained, we're being very considerate of the surrounding uses. So effectively, we have setbacks exceeding anything in your code. And as Sean and Vlad said, I think we have a 75-foot height limit. Yeah, so we're well under that too. So we're trying to be very considerate here for the surrounding uses. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to open up for some more questions for you. We're going to start off with our commissioners. We'll start off with Commissioner Fowler. You have any questions, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the exact name of the nonprofit.
Claris Health.
Claris?
Claris Health.
You spell
Yes.
that?
CLARIS.
Oh, just like it sounds.
Yes.
Okay, Claris Health. And so I know I read there was a medical facility, so what types of services are you going to be having there?
Yeah, so Claris currently we do medical, mental health, and support services primarily for pregnant women and families with kids under the age of 5. We are going to be bringing in other nonprofits that do additional services. For example, Shields for Families, they work with substance use, behavioral health, employment navigation. They will be joining us. Choice Health, another nonprofit that does pediatrics. We have a nonprofit that is coming in that helps with insurance navigation. So it'll be a collaborative of nonprofits under one roof, serving the community primarily with an emphasis on families with small children. And so to answer some of the questions about the bar that, I'm not sure where the term came from, but really what it is just a countertop. So if one struggle that nonprofits face is anytime we want to do a smaller event, the venues that you would rent are pretty cost prohibitive. So we want to be able to have smaller events where catering would be brought in. So yeah, there will be no retail living on the rooftop. And then the basketball court is simply for some of our youth programs. So it won't be open to the community, but if a nonprofit, during COVID, we started doing some small basketball camps at Wilmington Arms and Compton. And so we have a few parts of our nonprofit that would, an extension that would do that. And the childcare is only, what we're trying to do is eliminate a lot of the barriers that people face in getting access to healthcare. So we will have free drop-in childcare while parents are accessing service on the site. So it's not a daycare that's open to the public. We want people to be able to come and have a therapy session without their 2-year-old in the room. And so it'll be free drop-in childcare for up to 2 hours while you're on the property.
What do you see as your hours of operation?
Regular hours, Monday through Friday. There may be an occasional, we have a few nonprofits that are interested in joining that do some evening classes, but it'll most of the tenants will be 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
And no weekend?
Likely no. There may be 1 or 2 that would do weekend events, but most of them will not be there on the weekend.
Okay, thank you. That satisfies my questions, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Rice?
At this time, we're looking at your project for design review. Wanted to find out from staff if this project will be coming back before our body for operations, was a medical use, or is it by right?
Medical is by right there. So if it's just simply medical, then no, it would not come back.
And the psychiatric treatment, that's all medical?
As proposed, yes.
$500-foot notice radius has been issued on this project?
This is not a public hearing, so
Public hearing
no.
for it? So at any point, will it be public hearing as to what's going to happen with this project? Is this going to go to permit some licensing and not come back before us?
As long as the uses that are proposed and that are licensed through their business tax registration remain by right, general, medical, pediatric treatment, things of that nature, small group counseling, then it would not come before this body. Should in the event that the uses do require special use permit approval, then that's when we would come back before you.
That I'm going to have a conversation with you with reference to distance. From the front of this dais to that column is about 20 feet. So every 20 feet or so approximately, you have a story going up, if it were 4 stories. So that would be almost 80 feet. Distance between the alley and the proposed building that you're putting up. So that distance, correct?
On the elevations we're showing to the very top of that 3rd floor, it's 42 feet.
No, extending out from the property line to the alley going south.
Property line to the alley, we have.
Show 63 feet, I think it was here.
I don't know if the mic's not working.
It's 32 from the building to the alley, then the alley, and then there's an additional, I believe, 40 feet of that lot right there.
About 70.
70, and then that's not including the alley.
Okay.
And that's a 20-foot alley. So we got close to 100 feet.
Including
from
the
where
alley, it's
building-
100 feet.
Close to.
So that's like from the front of this dais to across the street before you would start to see an elevation. Across the street, no. I'm talking about literally across the street from this dais where we're sitting to the street behind City Hall.
Yeah.
That would give you 100 feet before an elevation. I'm just trying to help members here on the dais to understand the distance you would have buffering between the first residence and before you would start to see the building going vertical. Okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're looking at the diagram, just beneath the alley, we're going to have an open parking, which is about 40 feet. And then we have a 20-foot alley, and then we have about 32 feet of basketball playground area for the kids. So in total, we are looking at about 60, 90-something feet, 90, 95 feet from where the first residence begins just south of this to where our building begins. And we're proposing about 42 feet in height, so.
I'm just trying to help members of the dais to understand what that distance actually represents, what it might really look like from here to the street, how far that actually is. It's not like you're putting up a structure right here 40 feet high next to my house, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Price.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
So a good way to look at it is the height of this building is about half the distance of what the distance from the building is to the residential area. So it's well thought of to make sure we're not like projecting ourselves into the residential neighborhood, and we laid the site out, taking all that into account, and to be able to provide parking as well. So it's not going to be imposing into the residential neighborhoods just south of this.
Commissioner Trios?
Like I said previously, I really like the Art Deco design. The commercial corridor is changing and will be changing some more. And I think this is a good start on putting up a building that fits into the neighborhood now and in the future. I think it'll create an ambience that will be followed by other developers that surely are coming in. So again, I do like the design, a wonderful improvement to what is there and a good precedent for other buildings to come in. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
Hi, thank you. I too had some concerns like Chairman Springs with regards to height, but once it was explained by Mr. McCrumbry and with the help of our Commissioner Rice, it helps me visualize how this will actually come about, and I'm glad it is only 3.5. How many bathrooms will you have?
Currently, every single floor is offering bathroom facilities. We have male and female restrooms, and also on the first floor, we're providing a unisex restroom as well.
Okay, and I actually really do like the design. It's a modern deco art kind of a design. It's really nice. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, my question has to do with the parking. What's the required parking for this?
Due to AB 2097, there's no required parking.
I think they indicated that they have 38 slots. Is that correct?
Yes, they are voluntarily providing the 38.
Would that be enough for your employees and your staff and your staffing?
Correct. We took into account staffing and a lot of the people who are going to be frequenting the building are low income. They're probably going to be taking public transit. So we took kind of everything into account and made sure we provided enough parking for people frequenting the building and also the staff.
I have no other questions. I thank you, Commissioner Rice, for explaining that. My vision was completely different. However, I'm still adamant about tall buildings in a community. So at this particular point, this, by it being a non-public hearing, there's no information from the community. So is there any final questions?
Yes, I do have a final question. You did mention that there was a lot of conference space. Are you planning to rent that space or make that space available to either other entities or?
We might make that available to there will be certain nonprofits that will be tenants in the building and then others who can use space. So we'll have a little multi-tenant space on the top. The primary goal is nonprofits that need the space, but there could be a chance that we could rent a conference room to a nonprofit in the community.
Yeah, that's just something that would probably, space is hard to have in this community, so that would be a good reason to help the community if you could, and they don't mind paying, but I hear the nonprofit, so thank you for that. I do like the building. I do like the decor. it's certainly 200% better than what's there. So it would be in District 1. So I do believe if you've spoken to the community, at least the person right next door, because it's pretty much like you said, it's commercial along that little area, except for that house that is right there, which he was concerned about, which would be true. So I could understand they've been looking at a vacant space, so anything probably would be a better space for them. So thank you very much. I have no further questions, Mr. Chair, or comments.
Commissioner Rice,
No further questions, Chairman.
Commissioner Trejo,
No further questions, thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
No further questions, thank you.
Okay. If there's no further questions, is there a motion on the floor, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to affirm the categorical exemption EACE 2025-021 and adopt the resolution approving DR 24-00065.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. We'll call for any questions. Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Commissioner Fowler,
Aye.
Commissioner Rice,
Aye.
Commissioner Trejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw Williams.
Aye.
Chairman Springs.
Aye. Mr. McCumble.
Chairman, in accordance with the IMC, the applicant may appeal this decision within 10 days of the notice of the decision by way of a written appeal along with an appeal fee of $389.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this particular point, we'd like to open it up for anyone who would like to talk to the commission in regards to anything in their particular area. You can do so at this particular time. Hearing, seeing none, we're going to close that segment, and we're going to have our commissioners' initiatives. We're going to start off Commissioner Fowler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to wish happy Women's History Month, and on March 8th is Women's International Day. So ladies, enjoy. They don't give us that many days. Take advantage of them. It's been a very good month. This month we had a lot of recycling, so I'm happy about that. I will share with you my concern on a tower. I did share this with Chris. That is being installed right there at Crenshaw and the Bend and 8th Avenue. And the installer said to me, "Oh no, the city didn't require us to cover it up." And so I said, "Really?" So I'm hoping that we'll be looking into that. That is a concern, and it is not a pretty picture.
Where is that?
Right, you know where Big Fish is? Right there on the 8th
Yeah.
and Crenshaw and the Bend there.
Okay.
Actually, it's closer to, what's that the other end, the pizza place? It's in that little circle. Huh? It's a beauty supply, and then there's something else right after that. I think it's a pizza. Yeah, it used to be Curves. It's right there.
Okay. And they're installing
It's a tower. Yeah, they
tower.
install it, you know, like
a
a
wireless telecommunication
uh-huh.
facility.
Right, right. And it is ugly. It is ugly. So I would like that taken care of for the residents of District 1, because while that little strip is commercial, it's all residential right there.
Okay, could you explain that again, Commissioner Fowler? Because I think we did approve that, that tower that's there.
But to be covered,
No, they didn't want to cover it.
they decide? Why would we leave that ugly facility there when we make everybody else, since I've been here, cover 'em?
I do remember that,
Yeah, we'll look into it.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Rice,
No initiatives, Chair. No initiatives.
you say none? You leaving us? Commissioner Trail?
Yes, I'm going to bring up again the gas station, vacant gas station at Inglewood Avenue and Century Boulevard, that they had put a fence around it. I guess with the winds we had recently, the whole fence came down. At least 2 days ago when I passed by there, the whole fence has come down. And there is a car there that I guess they have broken into, so there's trash and old rags around it, and that fence has to go back up because it is going to be an attraction for people that want to make a mess.
We will alert code enforcement and it'll be taken care of.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Shaw Williams?
I just have a question with regards to the car wash on Imperial near Crenshaw or Yukon. No, actually, it's Lamoli. Crenshaw and Lamoli, we had approved for that car wash to go through a revamp, and I was just curious if anyone knew what the status was on that.
To date, we haven't received any site plan review applications, but we will follow up with the applicant to see what their timeline is, what their development timeline is.
Okay, thank you.
I have some concerns about an area on Century at, I believe it's Yukon. And when you're going east, there's a large hump in the road on Century. So when you cross it, you probably throw your alignment off. That's at Century going east at Yukon. Another one going east on Manchester as you cross Fifth Avenue. There's a large hump in the street, and when you cross it, if you had, say you had a cup of coffee on your dashboard, trust me, it'll fall off.
So it was like a pothole?
Not a
Or-
pothole, it actually runs from all three lanes, from all two lanes, it runs across north and south on Manchester and north and south on Century.
What's the second one? I got Century and Yukon.
Century and Yukon.
And then the second
and
one was-
Manchester and Fifth Avenue. It's a buckle, yes, thank you. Both of them are buckles.
Okay, I will alert Public Works and we'll look into it.
Okay, and lastly, we're working on our water lines in the city, in the first district. And from what I understand, it's a year and a half project. So what they're doing is they're working on the water lines, putting in new water lines from the main all the way to the meter. So if you're driving down one of the avenues from Manchester to Century, you may have to take a detour. I would recommend you taking the main streets rather than go through the neighborhood. That way you will be able to go around the construction that they're doing, and you won't be going through the neighborhoods as well. So try to avoid those areas if possible.
Thank you for that.
Okay? I have nothing else. Oh, yes, I do have something else. You and I had a conversation in regards to the September event.
Yes, so we were supposed to be in Santa Rosa this week. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties. However, we will be, as a commission body, attending the California APA conference in September, I believe it's September 28th through October 1st. And so that is in Monterey. We've begun the process of getting all of the necessary clearances, and registration opens up in a month or two, if I'm not mistaken. And so as soon as it opens, we will be registered, and ready to attend and have a good time. I think it's going to be a really rewarding experience. I know you look forward to the Planning Commissioners Conference every year, but the California APA conference is, I think you'll really enjoy sitting in on some of the sessions and really kind of getting a glimpse into the life of a planner, right? And how we think and being able to take some of that information that you've gathered, right, and use it as a decision-making body to help further and help take Inglewood to the next level, for lack of a better phrase. And so I think it'll be a really good, unique opportunity and experience. And I think Commissioner Fowler was looking forward to some seafood. So that's the plan. So thank you for asking. And once again, we thank you for your flexibility and understanding in us not being able to travel this week, but we do have something planned special for you. So we're excited about the September trip.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.